Hey, thank you for joining us today. We're so excited about the word that we believe God has for you. Do you know that every problem has a purpose? Yeah, that's right. If God brought you to it, He's going to bring you through it. Not around it, but through it. And we believe that He's building power within you so that you overcome every situation in life.
We thank you for this opportunity to come and to hear from you. We are truly thankful that you open up blinded eyes. We're truly thankful that you show us through your love that all things are truly possible. And we thank you for choosing us in some way, some shape, some form to show your glory. It's a humbling experience, but it's an awesome experience. Thank you for your truth. Thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy that has no ends, no limitations. Thank you for bringing us to this moment. Thank you for bringing us to this moment so that we may see something we have never seen before. Reveal something that has never been revealed before. We thank you for your integrity. We thank you for your honesty. We thank you for your character, for it never changes. We can count on you. We can rest in you. We can walk every day knowing that we will never be forsaken. Lord, speak through me what you have for your people. None of me and all of you. We thank you in advance for a life-changing moment with you and a generational changing moment with you today. And I just pray no one leaves here the way they walked in. In your precious name we pray. Amen. Amen. Well, love on the person next to you. Tell them you're glad to see them. You know, oftentimes before a message comes forth, or almost every time before a message comes forth, God walks me through a personal experience in my own life, or I pay witness to an experience closely in someone else's life. And these moments come together. You know, we're at the end of the Art of War. You guys have been enjoying the Art of War. And, you know, every time we come to an end of the series, I ask God, what hasn't been said that you want to say now? If you got it, I'm going to pour it out. But what hasn't been said that needs to be said for your people to grow, for your people to advance, for the people to see a different part of you that they maybe have never known, never experienced. And as I just was praying about it last night, and God said something to me, and it's hard for me not to cry when he says, what he said to me. Because it wasn't what I wanted to hear, but I knew it was what I needed to hear. And I'm going to share it with you today, and I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how to present this to you, but I'm going to do the best I can. And we'll see where we end up at. I told y'all last week, if I had one last message to preach, this would be the message I would preach. Well, I lied. If I had one last message to preach, this would be the message I would preach. Turn with me to John 11. I'm reading in the New Living Translation. And I'm going to start at verse 33. And this is what God said to me. I'm just going to give it to you up front. And if you were here last week or heard last week's message, this is not going to surprise you in any way. This is what he told me. You're going to have to go through this to get to that. Amen. He said, you're going to have to go through this to get to that. This may be that thing that has been circling around in your mind and in your spirit for all year long, maybe longer than that. This may be the thing that just popped up in your spirit this morning. This may be the thing you've been trying to avoid, the situation you've been trying to see erased, the thing you've been praying for decades, or the thing you've been praying for months. That may be your this. But that is that thing that God placed in your heart that you can't get rid of it. It's the dream he showed you, the vision he showed you, the purpose he showed you, and you can't get rid of that. You tried to get rid of it. You tried to ignore it. You tried to figure out many ways of how to get to the that he showed you without having to go through your this. Amen. But God wanted me to tell you today, you're going to have to go through this to get to that. Amen. Last week we ended the service. I said, truth is, vulnerability can be the asset of your insecurity or the gateway to greatness. It's all about perspective. The same situation that the children of Israel were looking at, the same waters that were parted were the same waters that could drown them. But the truth of the matter is they had to go through this in order to get to that. Y'all there in John 11 and 34, I'm reading in the New Living Translation. I'm jumping in midway here, and we'll circle back. Where have you put him? He asked. This is Jesus. They told him, Lord, come and see. Then Jesus wept. The people who were standing nearby said, see how much he loved him. Talking about Jesus. But someone said, this man healed a blind man. Couldn't he have kept Lazarus from dying? Oh, it's so rich already. It's so rich already. Why are they confused? They're confused because why would he cry over a dead Lazarus if he contains the power to raise him? It's confusing. Why would Jesus cry when he contains the power to raise him? That's what they're saying. But some said, this man healed a blind man. Couldn't he have kept Lazarus from dying? Jesus was still angry. Look at this, Jesus was angry. Some of y'all are like, that's all I need to hear today. People been telling me all the time I should do something with my anger. You see it in the scripture. Jesus was angry. Jesus was still angry. As he arrived to the tomb, a cave with a stone rolled across its entrance. Roll the stone aside, Jesus told them. But Martha, the dead man's sister, protested, Lord, he has been dead for days. The smell will be terrible. Jesus responded, Didn't I tell you that you would see God's glory if you believe? I got to stay focused. So they rolled the stone aside. Then Jesus looked up to heaven and said, Father, thank you for hearing me. Some of y'all just say thank you, for hearing me. Stay focused, Bryan. But he heard you. He heard you. He heard you when you first prayed about it. Keep praying about it. He heard you. And he's still hearing you. And he ain't forgot. And he's not gonna forget. He ain't the forgetful type of person. It's not his character. He heard you the first time, the second time, the third time, the fourth time. He heard you. Look what he says. Thank you for hearing me. You always hear me. But I said it out loud for the sake of these people standing here, so that they will believe you sent me. Jesus is saying, I've been praying this whole time already. I didn't say it out loud so that you could hear me. I said it out loud so they could hear me. Yes, sir. He's saying all this because he's pointing towards a specific thing. And I'm going to tell y'all what he's pointing towards. But all these words are intentional. He's saying these things intentionally. That's what he said. He revealed this. I'm not saying this so you heard me the whole time. I'm saying this so that they can hear. That's right. So that they will believe you sent me. Then Jesus shouted, Lazarus, come out. And the dead man came out, his hands and his feet bound in grave clothes, his face wrapped in a headcloth. Jesus told him, unwrap him and let him go. Let him go. Let him go. It was a setup. It was a setup. Jesus was weeping not because he didn't have the power to raise Lazarus from the dead. Jesus was weeping because they didn't understand that it was a setup. Jesus wasn't weeping because Lazarus was dead. He contained the power to raise him. Jesus had no reason to weep over a dead Lazarus. He was going to raise Lazarus few scriptures down. There was no point in Jesus emotionally attaching to this situation other than the simple fact that nobody got the point of the situation. Jesus was weeping because they didn't understand that there was purpose in the problem. Jesus was weeping because they failed to realize this problem has a purpose. Jesus wasn't weeping because Lazarus was dead. He knew he was about to raise him. Jesus was weeping because the people didn't realize the problem had a purpose. They didn't see the setup. Woo! They didn't realize that Jesus was trying to tell them, we have to go through this to get to that. Jesus is like, do y'all not understand? We have to go through this in in order to get to that, Jesus is weeping because he knows this is the miracle that's going to start a cascading of problems that's going to lead to his death, burial, but his resurrection. Jesus understands that this whole situation is a setup. It's a setup that leads to my death. However, it results in my resurrection. This problem has a purpose. Y'all keep crying over dead Lazarus, and while you're in the midst of a Savior that has the power to raise him from the dead. We have to go through this to get to that. It's a setup. They gonna run off and tell a whole bunch of people about what just happened. Them same people is gonna take me and put me on trial. Them same people is gonna kill me. But guess what? It's all a setup. Why are you weeping? Nothing's dying today. Watch. Lazarus come out. See? It was just that simple. The problem has a purpose. I told you I want to reveal my glory through you. You're going to have to go through this to get to that. And I know we don't like the thises. But the thises aren't there for your death. They're lined up for the setup for his glory. Truth is, the problem isn't the problem, but how you see it can be. One of the greatest advantages of warfare are perspective. Who has the greatest perspective of the battlefield? And God's like, I've given you a heavenly perspective on every problem and situation you face. That perspective says it's for my glory, period. If there's a problem in your life, it's for his glory, period. That's right. What are you saying, Pastor Bryan? Truth is, God doesn't have to share space with your problem. He's all consuming. God doesn't have to share space with your problem. God doesn't have to move over in your life so your problem can have space. God does not have to allow space in your life for a problem to be there. He's an all-consuming fire. If there's a problem in your atmosphere, it's not a problem that doesn't have a purpose. I won't allow you to be tempted, tried, above what you are bare to withstand. But with it, I'll make a way of escape that the whole world will see my glory. This ain't a problem. It's a setup. I might just sit right there for a while. Pastor Bryan already said enough. If you was wondering, I told her when I showed up today, I said, I came today to get kicked out the church. But I'm going to say what God told me to say, and they can kick me out afterwards. But I got a good, they didn't even turn the clock on. But I got a good 27 more minutes to say what God told me to come here and tell his people whom he loves so much, that the problem you're facing isn't unto your death, it's for your life. You're going to have to go through this to get to that. The problem has a purpose. Look at your neighbor and say, the problem has a purpose. The problem has a purpose. It's amazing what happens to you when you start realizing that every problem in your life right now has a purpose attached to it. What happens when you stop trying to ask God for a character development route that doesn't avoid any situation? Oh, he said it. Oh, it slipped out. God is not issuing character avoidance maps to his victory. Say it again on this side. God is not issuing character development maps to his victory. God is not issuing routes around things he wants to work out of you to get to what he's promised to you. God's like, I want you to go through that so you can get to this. Because when you get to this, you're going to be everything that I said you are. Jesus is like, why are y'all crying over Lazarus? It's a setup. Lazarus, come out. I'm weeping not because he's lost. I'm weeping because you didn't make the connection. And it just brought me so close because God, I said, Jesus, are you still weeping today? Because we keep walking around like all power on heaven and earth isn't living on the inside of us. And we keep somehow thinking that Satan can issue a problem into our atmosphere that God hasn't already declared we're the victor over it. That's right. I'll tell you something, it's time for the blinders to come off. You're going to have to go through that. What are you saying, Pastor? Not every problem is a problem if you're living with the answer. And every trial is a situation if you're innocent. Look, you see what I'm saying? You label it a problem because you don't contain the answer. I label it another walk in the park because I have it. Right. Truth is, the Holy Spirit is at work right now, transforming your character into his. You're going to have to go through. Y'all should be preaching with me by now. You're going to have to go through to get to. I told y'all last week, I am on a one-way train to showing you an unobstructed view of how powerful you are. If there's a problem in my life, first off, it ain't a problem. First off, nothing in my life can be labeled as a problem. There's no such thing as a problem. However, there are many purposes that need to come out of me. So if there's a problem, the problem can't come without a purpose. Some of y'all just got a very purposeful life right now. Look at your neighbor and say, I have a very purposeful life. I'm surrounded by purpose. 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 I might have to go through to get to. However, the problem has a purpose. Problem has a purpose. Ain't nothing just lingering around in my life. God's too good to allow something to attach to me that he doesn't want attached to me. What we have to stop doing is thinking that things in our life are accidental when you serve a strategic God. Jesus was weeping because they didn't get the picture. It's a setup. Why are y'all crying? I'm angry because y'all don't get it. And the hour is near. Philippians 2:12 says, dear friends, you always followed my instructions when I was with you. And now that I am away, it is even more important. Work hard to show the results of your salvation. Work hard to show the results of your salvation. Work hard to show the results of your salvation. Pastor Bryan, you saying we got to work? We already went down that road. Anything of works is something you're trying to do to complete what's already been done. However, there are works for you to do. I can't work for my salvation. It was a free gift. I can't work for every spiritual blessing. It was a free gift. I can't work for his grace. It was a free gift. I can't work or deserve his love. It was a free gift. However, I can respond to what all that means for me right where I am. I don't have problems. I got opportunities. I don't have problems. I got purpose. Sometimes you go home and on your whole problem list, just erase the word problem at the top and put purpose. And watch God reveal to you the purpose of every single situation that is currently involved in your atmosphere right now. Because we talked about this last week. It can get around you, it can get on you, but can't none of that get in you. It ain't you. Obeying God with deep reverence and fear, for God is working in you, giving you the desire and the power to do what pleases him. He said, I'm working with you to get this done. Glory to God. Glory to God. Turn me to Romans 5:1. I'm going to read this in the New Living Translation. Therefore, since we've been made for right in God's sight by faith, we have peace with God because of what Jesus Christ, our Lord, has done for us. Because of our faith, Christ has brought us into this place of undeserved privilege where we stand now. Y'all read how rich that is. Because of this grace, because of his love, we all live in a place of undeserved privilege. Just look at your neighbor and say, I live with undeserved privilege. That's where you stand. And we confidently and joyfully look forward to what? Sharing God's glory. Now, that's a heavy statement. Because in order to share in his glory, because if I remember correctly, it was the death, it was then the burial, then it was the resurrection. It was the death, the burial, then the resurrection. It was the death, the burial, then the resurrection. No, Pastor Bryan, it was resurrection, death, then burial. No, that ain't gonna work. It was resurrection, burial, then death. No, that ain't gonna work neither. It was death, resurrection, and burial. No, that don't work either. The only way this works, if it's death, burial. The only way this works is if he went through.
That's right. Wow.
We can rejoice too. Join in my rejoicing. When we run into y'all see it? We can read it together. So we can rejoice too when we fall, when we run into problems and trials. For we know that they help us develop endurance. And endurance develops strength of character, and character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. And this hope will not lead us to disappointment, for we know how dearly God loves us because he has given us the Holy Spirit to fill our hearts with his love. Pastor Bryan, break it down to me. You're going to have to go through this to get to that. However, we rejoice through this because we know we get to share in the that. And this gives us a confident hope. What gives us a confident hope? That through our thises, our character is developed. And our strengthened character builds hope. Wait a minute, you said something interesting there. That was interesting. And endurance develops what? Strength of character. And character strengthens our confident hope of salvation. So what you're telling me is as I'm going through this, my hope should be building. I shouldn't be going through this, getting further away from hope. The thises bring me closer to the hope. Pastor Bryan, read it again. I'll read it again. And endurance develops strength of character. What is endurance is he pointing to? It ain't a secret. The problems and trials develop of endurance. But that endurance results in strength of character. And the strength of your character leads to a confidence in his hope. And he said, this hope will not lead to disappointment. When you see the word this, it's referring to a type. He wasn't saying in that. No, he said in this hope. Yeah. What hope is you referring to? The confident hope that comes through the character developed through trials. That hope. That hope leads to a life that remains hopeful. Pastor Bryan, break it down again. We shouldn't be going further away from hope through the trial. We should be getting closer to hope during the trial, because the trial builds endurance, and the endurance results in strength and character, and the strength and character reminds me that my God is able. What are you saying, Pastor Bryan? The problem ain't the problem. The problem has a purpose. The purpose is to build a strength of character and endurance that you'll never, ever lose hope in what he said. Amen. And as I often do, my father said this. I wanted to show it to y'all. He said, God won't always change your situation, but he'll always commit to a changed you. And a changed you will always have the power to change every situation. Now, I had to pause when I read that again I don't even know how many times I've read that in my life. It hit me differently in 2019. It hit me in a fresh way because I have fell into a trap that some of y'all are in today where I keep trying to pray my problems away. God, I can't wait until this is over. God, I can't wait till this thing ends. And God's looking like, I can't wait till you just go ahead, get the confidence and the courage that's living on the inside of you to just walk right through it. You keep trying to pray away what I sent to make you. Oh, he said it again. I told y'all can kick me out after this service, but I'm finished this one. Jesus said, I said it out loud so that they could hear me, because I know you heard me every time. I said it out loud so they can understand that this isn't a situation I'm trying to pray for the answer. It's a situation where I'm trying to see to them, and I'm trying to show them it's set up. What can I do to further show them that this isn't a problem, it's a setup? He's like, just say it out loud, son. Say it out loud. Pray it out loud this time. Because they think that you're crying over his death. Romans 12:1 says, and so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give you your bodies to God, because all he has done for you, let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Don't copy the behavior and the customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. What is he saying? He's saying there's a process of renewal that lets you see and moves you into a position to know what pleases me. Because truth is, your mind can be an instrument of distraction or the conduit from which God I'm going to read up here. Conduit from which God's will can be known through you. What is he saying? He's saying, I'm working on your mind, because your mind keeps rejecting things based on this world's way of seeing things. What are you saying? This world believes in conflict resolution. God believes in conflict revelation. Say it again. This world believes in conflict resolution. God believes in conflict revelation. The world believes that every problem has a resolution. God says every problem has a revelation. The world says that every problem has a resolution. God says every problem has a revelation. Every problem has the ability to reveal who you are and who he is. If you're looking for answers, they're everywhere. If you're looking for revelation, that's why you came to me. Oh, Pastor Bryan, bring the message back to earth. We've been looking for solutions. Just give me the answer to this problem. And people can't give you the answer to your problem. Your problem is attached to a revelation he's trying to show you. I'll say it on this side. You keep going around asking people for the answer to your problem, and they don't have the answer because God's not issuing an answer for you. He's issuing a revelation for your life. And the revelation comes through what he tells you about it. I know some people just came here today for an answer, not for a revelation. I get it. Some people come to me all the time asking, Pastor Bryan, can you help me with this situation? And I'm like, look, man, if you're looking for an answer, you came to the wrong office. However, you're looking for a revelation. If you're looking for God to reveal why you are where you are and why you have to go through this in order to get to that, you are standing in the right place. Because truth is, we should never give comfort the power to decide our destination. Oh, he said it. We should never give comfort the power to decide our destination. And many of us have given comfort the power to decide our destination. God, you couldn't be wanting me to go through this to get to that, because that's uncomfortable. What did you just do? You just gave comfort and convenience the power to decide your destination. But comfort and convenience can take you on rides to destinations you don't want to end up in. Your neighbors, it's just time to draw a line in the sand. It's just time to draw a line in the sand. You either going to keep looking at problems, calling them problems, or you going to look at problems and say, you are no longer a problem, but you have become my purpose. And the purpose is this: the glory that's in me is about to come out of me. Thank you for showing up in my life. Thank you for waking me up this morning. Thank you for coming about my way. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to shine like the king that I am. Thank you, problem. You're not my problem. You are my solution. Good morning, solution. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. My glory train woke me up this morning. Some of y'all, when people call you in the morning and they got issue after issue after issue, you need to say, look, thank you, glory train, for waking me up this morning. God's about to show something through me. He caught me off guard. God. We got business to handle. We got glory that's living on the out and living on the inside, that's ready to burst through the outside. Nobody in this room has a problem. 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 Some of y'all have more purpose than others. Some of y'all have more opportunities for the character of Christ to be shown through you. Some of y'all have more opportunities for the glory that's in you to come outside of you. But don't nobody in here got a problem. We are surrounded by opportunities for glory to be shown. And it's time we stop running for the opportunities we've been planted here to execute on. We're going to have to go through to get to set up. All right, Pastor Bryan, go with me John 11:1. We about to sew this thing up. We about to lead right into what had Jesus weeping. Wasn't the secret. He walked us right down the map. He walked us right into why he stood there and was angry at what he saw. First one, a man named Lazarus was sick. He lived in Bethany with his sisters, Mary and Martha. This is the Mary who later poured the expensive perfume on the Lord's feet. Say, it's a setup. It's a setup. And wiped them with her hair. Her brother Lazarus was sick. So the two sisters sent a message to Jesus telling him, Lord, your dear friend is very sick. Verse 4, but when Jesus heard about it, he said, Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. Lazarus' sickness will not end in death. God has told so many of us that he's walking us and telling us, go through that. He told us before we ever started walking, that is not going to end in your death. He already told you. He already told you I'm going to walk with you. He already told you I'm going to be an ever-present help. He already told you I'm going to deliver what you need in the time of need. But you just keep trying to figure out how not to go through this and still end up with that. And he said, I told you from the beginning, the same way I told the disciples when I sent them across the lake, that you're going to the other side. The thing about God is he always lets us know. there's another side. No. Look what he says. No. It happened. What happened? Lazarus' sickness. It happened for the glory of God. So that the Son of God will receive glory from this. He's like, guys, this sickness isn't unto death. This sickness is a setup for me. Ooh. Oh, I know it's tight. Where Miss Margaret at today? But it's right. He started off the whole story letting them know from the beginning that it was all an arrangement for his glory. The same way he told you that when you gave your life to me, that we started a new relationship, and this relationship has a purpose. It's to show my glory everywhere you go. Any and every problem that you have labeled a problem isn't a problem. It has a purpose, and the purpose is to show my glory. It's all a setup. I'm going to say it again. Some people just been praying for character avoidance maps. God, give me a route to victory that avoids your glory being seen through me. Oh, you one of them type. Oh, you one of them type that just want the trophy sent to you in the mail. However, you don't want to show up to no practices and no games. You just want your name on the roster at the end so you can get a trophy and take a picture. But you don't want to really go to war with us. Oh, you like the trophy, but you don't like the battle. You like the trophy, but you aren't interested in the fight. You like the trophy, but you aren't interested in the journey that leads to the trophy. That's cool. However, for some bad mamma jammers in Tampa, Florida, that don't want a trophy at the end, but they want to be on the battlefield and they want to fight the good fight with Christ, guess what? You ain't got no problems. You have opportunities. And it's time we stop trying to avoid going through the thises to receive. If you wanted a character avoidance map, I just don't want the development. He says the development builds the hope. The development doesn't move you from me, it moves you to me. No, it happened for the glory of God so that the Son of God will receive glory for this. It was set up. So although Jesus loved Martha, Mary, and Lazarus, he stayed where he was. Jesus, the one who you love, is dying. Cool. It's a setup. I'm not leaving yet. Got stuff to do right here. He stayed where he was for the next 2 days. When I read that, I said, that scripture was designed for Pastor Bryan Powe himself. Because anybody that has ever been around me will tell you, they will tell you right now that if you bring a problem to Pastor Bryan Powe, you better be willing to wait for an answer. Because one thing Pastor Bryan doesn't do is run towards problems. I don't run towards problems. I don't run towards situation, because the problem doesn't need an answer. The problem needs a revelation. And so I don't need to show up until the revealing the power within this problem is known. Why would I run to a problem just to give an answer when all of heaven's revelation is living on the inside of me. I'll wait to show up when it's time for his glory to be revealed. It's okay. I ain't running around here crazy. All power is inside of me. Why would I run around here chasing? If you want to answer, Google it. I ain't Google. I'm a child of the Most High King. All of heaven lives on the inside of me. All the wisdom of God lives on the inside of me. If you're looking for answer, call Google. Don't call Bryan Powe. Call Bryan Powe when you want a revelation about what God is about to do in this situation. And if I ain't got one, I ain't showing up. The problem can stay the problem. He stayed where he was for the next 2 days. Verse 7, finally, he said to his disciples, let's go back to Judea. But here we go. You know, once you've got all prayed up and the Holy Ghost is risen up inside of you and you ready to go do what God has called you to do, ain't they always some buzzards that's just sitting around trying to tell you where you should stay and what you should be contained to and what you should be known by and what you can't do? You don't understand. I don't get buzzard talk. Always. I got a word from God. I see the assignment now. But his disciples objected. Rabbi, they said, only a few days ago, the people in Judea were trying to stone you. Are you going there again? Yeah. We have to go through. Y'all not get it? Y'all been walking around with me for almost 3 years now. We have to go through. Are we going to? I don't care who's there. We have to go through there. You sure you don't want to sit around and pray for another route? God ain't going, he ain't issuing routes that avoid the development and the shining forth of his glory. Pastor, I just don't know if I agree with that. That's cool. We'll give you a trophy at the end. It's cool. It's cool. I understand. Some people just don't want this. I get it. But this feeds me. Oh, this feeds me. This feeds me. I eat this. It brings nourishment to my life. To know that even if a problem wish it could, it's only wishing it could. It feeds me to know that even if a problem wish it could, it's only wishing it could. Look what Jesus says. Y'all know Jesus. He just loves to blow our minds. He said, look, I'm not going to just say yes, but I'm going to use this opportunity just to reveal some more just heaven-ordained knowledge. And I don't even know if they got his answer. Matter of fact, I know they didn't. I was going to wait till later to tell y'all that part. Jesus gives them the answer, and they didn't get it. Can we get it today? Yes. He says, Jesus replied, there are 12 hours of daylight every day. During the day, people can walk safely. They can see because they have light of this world. Jesus said there are people that only walk by the illumination of what this world presents. However, that ain't us. We night walkers. There are people that only walk by the illumination of the day. It lets them feel like they can see all the problems. If a problem comes, I saw it coming and I can prepare for it. Jesus is like, however, no, baby, we are night walkers. We walk in the night telling every problem, I wish you would. Some people like to walk around during the day so they can, I see, they coming from over there. Let's retreat. Let's wait for them to hide before we come out. Then there's some people, they go out in the middle of the night and wish a problem would. I've seen these people before. Pastor Gamage is one of them. And sometimes I go places with Pastor Gamage and I say, Pastor Gamage, you got that tie out? Some of y'all know what that means. And Pastor Gamage is like, never leave home without it. And we walk anywhere. And Jesus is like, yeah, there are some people, they walk by the light of day. But Jesus was a deep fella, so they didn't get it. But at night, there's danger of stumbling because they have no light. It's a setup. If they could see what I've shown you, they would all be trying to come forward. Oh, Pastor Bryan, I'm sorry, I'm finna abuse the time. Just go ahead and, never mind. However, there are certain things that God has prepared you that are surrounded by danger that isn't for you. It's to scare them off. Because if light was shining on it, they would see what you saw. So it's in the darkness, not because it's dark for you, it's dark so they won't get what God has set up for it. If it was sitting in plain sight and it was beautiful and glorious, you would have to compete for it. But if I take it and dress it up like trash, but tell you it's treasure, don't believe the descriptions they give that say it's trash. They're just in the dark. But we walk. No problems. There's opportunities. Every problem has a purpose, and the purpose is to show His glory. But I'll progress. But at night there was danger of stumbling because they have no light. That's why we walk in the night. Then He told them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep. But now I will go and wake him up. And some of us be talking to God. This is probably one of the most embarrassing set of scriptures. I believe the disciples had a vote. They'd be like, can we please take these ones out? If the disciples had a vote, I believe they would say, can we take these ones out? Do they need this one to understand everything about who you are? I think this is a good set not to put in. Because what they are about to say sounds a whole lot like the stuff we say. And that's why I was left. Then the disciples said, man, this is after Jesus has told them that He's not going to die, it's for my glory. Then the disciples said, Lord, if he's sleeping, he will get soon better. Oh, y'all gonna make me bring this to 2019. Then the disciples said, Lord, if he's sleeping, he will get better. How many of y'all ever looked at a problem and say, time will just get this, time will figure this out. Time will just, it'll change in time. How many of y'all got problems I ain't gonna ask you to raise your hand, I'll raise your hand for you. How many of y'all got problems in your life that you have labeled time will change it? Just put some time on it, baby, it'll come around. Meanwhile, the only reason you saying that is because you don't want to have to go through. You already know what needs to be said and what needs to be done. And you praying that somehow the miraculous power that's stored up in time. Time heals all wounds, Pastor. Thank you for Google's answer. Yes, thank you for Google's answer. Time heals all wounds. God says revelation births new beginnings. And what I have to reveal may not be what they're looking for, but it's going to birth a new beginning for both of us. They may not want to hear what I got to say, but it's going to birth a new beginning for both of us. And they might not even like that beginning, but they're going to have to go through. There's going to be reactions, and then there's going to be outcomes. I know I went all the way back to January. Y'all all right? Can I finish this? Yes. I don't know how to stop it, so until I get to the end. They thought Jesus meant Lazarus was sleeping. But Jesus meant Lazarus had died. So Jesus rewind the tape. Y'all, we can't not avoid Judea because homeboy ain't sleeping. I said that for your comfort, but you've turned it into your convenience. I said it in a nice way so I wouldn't disturb your confidence. I said it in a way that would be palatable so that y'all would not lose hope. I said it in a way that I figured you would receive it so that it wouldn't disrupt too much of your thinking. However, what I realized is when I drowned it down, it changed your response. I drowned it down, and now you don't even want to go through this anymore. How many times have we drowned down what God said so that it would be more palatable to the ears of those who we need to say it to? And in exchange for what he really purposed, we end up changing what was designed to happen. I said it in a way that I wouldn't offend you, but when I said it that way, you ended up thinking everything was all right. Let me help you out. There is a problem still. Homeboy ain't sleeping. I said that in hopes that it would make you feel better about going to Judea, not so that you could not go to Judea. But I see what I said missed the mark. So let me rewind the tape. Verse 14. So he told them plainly, Lazarus is dead. Some of y'all need to take the sugar coating out of what you've been trying to say and just say it plainly. Because they're taking the sugar coating and they're avoiding the route with what you said. You know it, I know it, and we just look back and say, well, time will fix it. No, Jesus is like, I see what this did. You know what? I got y'all. Y'all brothers are still struggling with this. The boy is dead. He's dead. He's dead. He's not sleeping. Time ain't going to heal it. He's dead. He's dead. Lazarus is dead. I rewind the tape. I know I told you he was sleeping. He ain't sleep. He's dead. Lazarus is dead. He's dead. Some of y'all situations are dead. They ain't dying. They not on their way to a slow recovery. It is dead. And God has been telling you it is dead. Tell them it's dead and give them the new revelation of what needs to happen now. That's rough. That's rough though, God. Okay, cool. So we just gonna sit here and let time heal all wounds. Okay. Woo! This is where we see the beginning of Jesus starting to get angry, y'all. If y'all want to know when he started that angry, remember when it said he's still angry? This is where it was starting to grow at. Right here in this moment was Jesus was like, I'm getting hot. I'm getting hot because y'all been walking with me, and now I can't even just talk to y'all like cool like that no more. Sometimes you're going to have to change the tone of the conversation of those who've been around you so they understand the elevated place that you're at now. Jesus was like, I thought we would have been bros because we've been walking for 3 years together. However, I realized that our comfort has turned into decay. And I'm about to have to change the tone of the conversation so y'all get the point. Your brother is out. My time is near. He ain't sleeping, he dead. It's not fixable, it's over. I know y'all got some heavy conversations for Monday morning and a lot of thinking to do Sunday night. But there's some it's overs in this room right now. I'm telling you right now. There's some it's overs that's supposed to be delivered on Monday. God didn't send me here on a Sunday to preach you up to this level for you to go home and say, well, I just think time will tell. No, there's some fix it nows that's supposed to happen on Monday. There's some new beginnings God wants to start on Monday. And you need to let them know that guess what? I've been trying to play it safe, but the time is near. Some of y'all ready. Y'all about to make a phone call right now. Let's at the time now. I got one thing left to live for his glory. Let me give some of y'all an excuse. I know y'all looking for the out route. I'll give you one right now. You can still go to heaven without doing any of this. You will still go to heaven if you ignore every word Pastor Bryan has just said. Don't worry about it. We'll take a photo at the gates with you. But some of us, and I'm going to refer back to Sunday, some of us want to see a difference in between our current body and our new body. Some of us want to get to heaven and see a difference in between the body we walked in here and the body we received there. Some of us don't mind showing up to heaven a little dirty. Some of us don't mind showing up to heaven with a little scars. Some of y'all trying to show up just as beautiful as you are now, and that's okay. They have 401k plans and all types of stuff set up for that. However, there's some rough riders that love walking around in the dark. And Pastor Bryan has an assignment to call out the rough riders. It might not be your church. This might not be your church. It's like I'm like this every week, and I'm getting hyper and hyper. I walked up into that church and I had to leave there and do something with my life. I don't even like that feeling of having to do something with my life. It's not your place. It's not your place. I ain't your person. You running to me, I'm going to tell you, go get it. You running to me, I'm going to tell you, the mountain is high. I got to say we can move. So either you're going to move this one, jump over this one, or this one is going to fall like Jericho. I don't know which one of the three it is. But we ain't walking backwards. We ain't walking backwards. Got the wrong one. Got the wrong one. My daddy was a bad man, but Jim, I don't know what you thought was going to come next. I don't know. I ain't the one. I love people with so much love. I love you. I love you. I promise I love you. But I will not ignore the fact that there is a call and an assignment on your life that somebody needs to see. I'm not going to ignore the fact that God has called you to do something, to transform something before you go. I'm just not going to ignore the fact that there's certain things that God wants you to go through so that he can show himself through you. I don't got blinders for that. I ain't come with them set of blinders. If you're looking for an easy life, you can Google that. If you know what God wants to do with your life, let's go. You're right, it ain't what they want, but we all know is what you need to hear. I told y'all God woke me up this morning. He didn't tell me what I wanted to hear. He told me what I needed to hear. And I'm not afraid of hearing the truth. Give me the truth. If a miracle ain't coming, let me know now. If I need to go through this to get to that, I'm ready to walk. Because the quicker I get to walking, the quicker he can get to showing. And I'm about that showing life. I'm about that showing life.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I told myself, say what's on the paper. And for your sakes, look at what he says. I'm glad I wasn't there. He's showing them it's a setup. For your sakes, I'm glad I wasn't there. You ever had somebody tell you, if you would have been here, we wouldn't be in that mess? You need to call them up on Monday and say, guess what? I'm glad I wasn't there. Because watch what God's about to do through us and show through us. You're right. If I would have been there, I would have probably involved myself in ways I shouldn't have involved myself. I would have probably gave you a route that didn't end up in your development. I probably would have issued something that God didn't say. So I'm glad I wasn't there. Sorry. But I'm here now. Sorry. It's okay. Some of y'all been living under that condemnation and shame. Your children keep you there. The cousins keep you there. People keep you there. If you would have been here, it wouldn't have happened like this. I'm glad I wasn't there. There it is. I'm glad I wasn't there. I'm glad I wasn't there. I'm glad I wasn't there. Jesus, I'm glad I wasn't there for your sake. Because don't go there. I'm glad I wasn't there. How about that on a flip for perspective? Some of you, I can see it. I can feel it. And I know God's speaking to you. You've been trying to figure out, what can I say? What can I do? Every time I try to be who God's called me to be, I feel containment on my life because of the words and the perspectives that they carry. And God's like, I'm glad I wasn't there. How about that? I'm glad I wasn't there, for now you will really believe. He's dead, y'all. He's good and dead now. Now y'all about to really believe, because if I would have showed up early, I would have caught him in his sickness, and I wanted him dead. If I would have been there early, you wouldn't have hit the ground. But now you're on the ground. So let's get back up. Let's watch how God uses this to show him. Glad I wasn't there. I'm glad I wasn't there, for now you will really come, y'all. Let's go see him. With that little twinkle in his eye. I can see Jesus with a twinkle in his eye. Let's go see Lazarus, y'all. Y'all ready to go see Lazarus? Thomas, nicknamed the twin, said to his fellow disciples, look, they still ain't get it, y'all. Let's go to and die with Jesus. Some of y'all try to leave this message with that same perspective that your grandma taught you. I ain't teaching what your grandma taught you. Your grandma taught you carry this cross to your death. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you carry this cross to your life. If God beats you down to the ground and you die a pitiful, sorry life, it must have been his purpose. That's what your grandma told you. That's not what Jesus is saying. Jesus is saying, if you hit rock bottom, wait for the come up. Amen. You ain't going in there. You're not going to end there. This may be the middle, but it sure ain't the end. I should rewind that. I have a list of things that God wants me to say. There are things I don't be like the whole prophet. I don't do it like other people do it. But I do want you to know that that's something that God told me to tell you guys. This is the middle, but it's not the end. He said, let's go and die with Jesus. Have y'all ever heard that before? Let me just gonna give my life over to Christ and I'm just gonna go die with Jesus. No. That's the perspective that some people have. That is not what you signed up for. You signed up for glory to be revealed. Jesus told you when you came, you already died. I told you shared in my death. Ain't nothing but resurrection, baby. Oh, amen. I understand. Some of y'all just ready to get out there and do. Pastor, will you shut up so I can go outside and make some phone calls? That's what I see some of the looks in some of y'all faces like, I just need to be released so I can. Some of y'all already filling out offering envelopes. Y'all like, I am ready to. I'm serious. I see y'all. Y'all like, I am ready to go make these moves. I see y'all. And I thank God for y'all. Y'all the ones I'm looking for. Like, I need to be released, Pastor. I got something to do. And I ain't talking about watch a football game. Bump that football game. I got glory to be shown. When Jesus arrived at Bethany, he was told that Lazarus had already been in his grave for days. For 4 days, Bethany was only a few miles down the road from Jerusalem, and many of the people had come to console Mary and Martha and Mary in their loss. When Martha got the word that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary stayed in the house. Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if only you had been here, my brother would not have died. But even now I know. But even now I know that God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus told her, your brother will rise again. Yes, Martha said he will rise when everyone else rises at the last day. No, y'all keep doing this. This is why I keep getting angry. Y'all keep doing this. My disciples came with me to die. I came here to raise them. I told y'all at the beginning this was a setup, and y'all keep twisting my words. I didn't say he gonna rise. No, he's rising today. Jesus told her, I am the resurrection and the life. Anyone who believes in me will have life even after dying. That's cool. Everyone who lives in me and believes in me will never, ever die. You believe this, Martha? Yes, Lord, she told him. I have always believed you are the Messiah, the Son of God, the one who has come into the world from God. Then she returned to Mary. She called Mary aside from the mourners and told her, the teacher is here and he wants to see you. So Mary immediately went to him. Jesus had stayed outside the village at the place where Martha met him. When the people who were at the house consoling Mary saw her leave so hastily, they assumed she was going to Lazarus' grave to weep. So they followed her there. These people just was crowding around like, we just here to console. Anybody ever just crowd around your situation like they was waiting to see you die? That's what's happening right now. They're like, we just here to help her mourn the death. You know, ever had people walking, it's okay. I know you like that house. I know you like that house, and it's okay. God's going to get you another house. I don't need your mourning. Nobody died here. Nothing died here. I know you loved that car when they took that car. I know you loved that job after they fired you. I know you loved her and then you got the divorce. I know you did this, and I'm just here to make sure you feel better. My feelings are okay. You're not witnessing the death of anything, but the birth of something new. So they followed her. It was cool. We need a crowd. Jesus was like, I needed this crowd. Y'all got any more? Y'all got any more witnesses? Can I get any more witnesses? See, I just need to tell people that's crowding around your situation, like, baby, I heard what happened to you. Did you tell 5 folks about it? I'm gonna need you to tell 5 more people about my problem right now. I need you to call up some more people. Matter of fact, you can tag me in a photo with my problem. I need you to tell everybody, because the resurrection is coming. Tell everybody. It's okay. Some of y'all been trying to keep it a secret. I came in to tell you, it's okay. Man, that house was nice. What happened to it? We lost it. Now go tell 5 people. Or better yet, just like Jesus told them, shh, don't tell nobody. Jesus knew how to flip it on already. No, don't tell nobody. That'll get them to tell everybody. Woo! Y'all got to understand the freedom. You got to live in this freedom. This life is good. Baby, I heard you had a divorce. Don't tell nobody. Please tell everybody. Because when that right one show up, y'all going to see. I ain't trying to show up for a photo at the gates. I want to see the difference in between this body and my new one. When Mary arrived and Jesus, she felt and she said, Lord, if only you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. When Jesus saw her weeping and said to other people wailing with her, a deep anger welled up within him, and he was deeply troubled. Where have you put him? He asked. They told him, come and see. And God wanted me to tell some of y'all. We started at the middle because some of y'all are in the middle. Right in the middle. But you're right in the middle of where he wants you. And he wanted me to tell you that your pain won't be wasted. Your tears have been counted. And your seeds of sorrow will reap in joy. Say it again. He wanted me to tell you, your pain won't be wasted. When you get to this moment, the reason why I stopped in the middle and started in the middle, because here you see an angry Jesus. You see a weeping people. I mean, this is not a scene that you would even say would be a part of a plan God wanted to have happen. This is a very emotional moment. Jesus himself is angry. People are crying. Lazarus is dead. Which sounds a whole lot like a lot of our realities. This has happened. That has happened. This is happening. That has happened. That's going on. So much stuff that you keep trying to catch it in the net and you can't even catch. It's just keep multiplying. And we've been praying and praying and asking for ways to avoid. But God wanted me to tell you today that your pain won't be wasted. Your tears have been counted. And your seeds of worry will reap in joy. Psalms 30 reminds us that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning. And yeah, he's telling you, you're going to have to go through this in order to get to that. And I want to end right here in John 4. Read verse 32 in the New Living Translation, because I believe this passage of Scripture is the perspective that God wants us to carry for the rest of our lives. John 4, you guys can stand to your feet, I'm finished. John 4 and 32 in the New Living Translation. After Jesus was in a similar situation, it says, but Jesus replied, I have a kind of food you know nothing about. Look at your neighbor and say, I have a kind of food you know nothing about. Then they say, did someone bring him food while we were gone? The disciples asked each other. Then Jesus explained, nah, my nourishment comes from doing the will of God who sent me and from finishing his work. And y'all know I like to say stuff. Y'all, like Pastor Bryan has said a lot of stuff. But from now on, when you see something that's trying to label itself as a problem in your life or a situation in your life, just look right back at it and say, I'm about to get fed off of this. I'm about to get fed off of this. I don't need food. My nourishment comes from doing the will of the one who sent me. I don't have no problems. Never had one. I never will. Come on, worship team. Lord God, I just thank you for this time, and I just thank you for this opportunity to come and share your word with your people. Lord God, I just pray that this moment you set aside to set so many paths straight, to make so many obstacles in our life visible to what you are shaping through them. You came here to reveal to us that you've never forsaken us. You know right where we are. And we just thank you in this time for telling us the truth. We thank you for a moment of hearing from you and you speaking to us in such an intimate and personal way. And Lord God, I just pray that as they hear this word, they understand that it's not by power, it's nor by might, but it's by your Spirit. And they understand that you are all the while working in them, giving them the power to do the walking as they go through. Lord God, I just pray that we never avoid what you sent to set us up. We thank you for using us for your glory. We thank you for using us in ways that are beyond our thoughts. And we thank you for the that's in our lives that are exceedingly abundantly above what we can think, ask, or imagine. And if anybody's here and they're not saved and you're saying, Pastor Bryan, I haven't even made the decision to make Jesus Christ my Lord and personal Savior. If you're here today, today is an awesome day to do so. In a moment, we're going to have an opportunity for you to come forward and name Jesus Christ as your Lord and personal Savior. But I want you to take a moment. You guys just take a time. We're just going to allow God to do what he wants to do in this moment, and we'll dismiss shortly after that. It's okay with you guys? Yes. Let's just thank God for his word. Let's just thank him for his revelation. Let's just thank him for loving us so much that he doesn't allow us to walk around blindly. Let's just thank him for removing the veil. Let's thank him for his grace. Let's thank him for his mercy. Let's thank him for his kindness. Let's just thank him. My God, you're so good.
Listen, I pray that the word was a blessing to your life today. Remember, you can always like and subscribe to our YouTube page so you can stay up to date with messages as God releases them. We're always praying and believing God's best for you. Today's a good day to have a good day.